We are kicking off with Drew McIntyre, whose meltdown over his Royal Rumble elimination dominated headlines after WWE's first PLE of 2025, but now it looks like McIntyre is letting it go. Sportskeeda's Chris Featherstone reports that McIntyre has cooled off since last weekend and things are moving forward with WWE and Drew, who is ready to put this all behind him. It remains to be seen if that means McIntyre embracing his rumored WrestleMania 41 feud with Damian Priest or pushing for something bigger, but Drew is back on track, at least for now. PW Insider reports that WWE had plans for months to move McIntyre to Smackdown, and unless there's a last-minute change, fans can expect him on Friday nights soon. If so, his farewell match on Raw saw him defeat Sami Zayn on the Royal Rumble Go-Home show, ending his long stint on the Red brand. As for SmackDown, McIntyre's most recent match was against LA Knight on the February 23, 2024 episode, the same man who caused issues with his Rumble elimination. After that incident and reported frustration over a feud with Priest, a fresh start on SmackDown may be exactly what's needed for Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins cut a promo on the events of the Royal Rumble, and he arrived at Raw looking like the result of a fusion dance between Macho Man and The Undertaker. The Visionary took solace in knowing that CM Punk and Roman Reigns did not win, and as of now are not headed to WrestleMania 41's main event. Rollins even took pride in injuring the Tribal Chief, and he called out Sami Zayn, who he hyped up and encouraged to get tough and beat CM Punk in their men's Elimination Chamber qualifier. This came just moments after Rollins expressed his own desire to enter the chamber and head to WrestleMania, and this was a great example of character work by Seth. Rollins continues to denounce Punk as a human being, but with Zayn alone, used his promo to try and manipulate Sami into keeping Punk out of the chamber. Perhaps this is because Rollins knows deep down that he cannot beat Punk, who arrived and briefly brawled with Rollins, ending a quality promo segment with a hot conclusion. Despite Rollins' wishes, CM Punk is indeed heading to the Elimination Chamber, where he'll compete against John Cena and 4 others for a title shot at WrestleMania 41. Punk defeated Sami Zayn in the main event of Raw, and the Best in the World arrived with Bret Hart-inspired tights to face the former Intercontinental Champion. Not only that, but Punk cupped his ear during his entrance, clearly mocking Hulk Hogan, and this came 1 week after Punk buried the Dusty Hogan on the mic. The pair had a back-and-forth bout before Punk locked Zayn in the Anaconda Vice in the middle of the ring, though that didn't put Sami away. In the end, Punk dodged a haluva kick to hit the GTS for the win, and following the match, Zayn stared at Punk as the victor walked back up the ramp. Zayn was then jumped by Kevin Owens, who hit his best friend with the package piledriver, the same move that took Cody Rhodes out of action after Saturday night's main event in December. Zayn was completely motionless as Raw went off the air, and after the show, Owens made the exit through the crowd, while Punk showed great concern for the brutalized Sami. Medics rushed out to check on Zayn, with things looking very serious as he had to be stretchered out of the arena as Punk watched on, visibly concerned. KO's attack on Zayn seemingly stems from Sami not helping him in his WWE title ladder match at the Royal Rumble. Before the Royal Rumble Premium Live event, KO confronted Sami and urged him to support his real-life friend in the match against Cody Rhodes. However, during the ladder match, when Kevin was on the verge of being brutally destroyed, Zayn appeared, but only to check on Owens' health. In front of the OG Bloodline member, the American Nightmare climbed the ladder and took the titles with him. Cody even celebrated on top of the announcer's table in a foreshadowing moment with Sami Zayn, so due to Sami merely witnessing Rhodes take the title and not stopping him, that could be one reason why Kevin Owens attacked his friend on Raw this week. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn both seem to be out of the world title picture now. The prize fighter has already lost to Cody several times, and Sami has not qualified for Elimination Chamber 2025. It's possible that the company might be planning a WrestleMania 41 showdown between these two stars. This could explain why Kevin attacked Sami at the end of the show, as it plants the seeds for their showdown at Mania this year. A match between these two would undoubtedly be a show-stealing addition to the card of the Showcase of the Immortals. During Raw, Michael Cole gave an update on Roman Reigns, sharing that he had spoken with WWE medical staff, but could only reveal what the Tribal Chief allowed. The official word is that Reigns will be out of action for the foreseeable future, but no specifics were given about the severity of his Royal Rumble injury. This announcement comes after Reigns' shock elimination from the men's Royal Rumble match, a shock to many who had predicted the dominant Reigns to win. Fans inside Lucas Oil Stadium noticed that something was off with Reigns as he exited to the back, as the former Universal Champion looked both dazed and confused. WWE hasn't shared details, but speculation is running wild about what happened to the OTC and how serious his injury could be on the road to WrestleMania 41. Reigns is no stranger to extended absences, but an injury with WrestleMania just around the corner throws a major wrench into WWE's plans. If he's not cleared soon, it begs the question as to how WWE could shift its top storylines, and if Reigns isn't headlining at WrestleMania, who will step up in his place? If this injury is not legit or is just part of a storyline, then the possible reason for Roman Reigns being ruled out of WWE could be related to his future feud with Seth Rollins. Since the Visionary's actions were responsible for severely impacting the original Tribal Chief and forcing him out during the road to WrestleMania, this will only intensify their rivalry. The former Shield brothers already have a storied history. Also, after the events of the Royal Rumble, many fans believe that Reigns, Rollins, and CM Punk are on a collision course for a triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. So Reigns' temporary absence due to Rollins' attack may be a strategic move by WWE to escalate tensions between the two. Given this, there's no immediate need for Reigns to be a part of the storyline at this stage. WWE may be resting him now to bring him back in a more meaningful capacity after the Chamber PLE, ensuring his presence has maximum effect in the lead-up to WrestleMania 41. Now another WWE talent's time with the company has come to an end, and this one flew under the radar, but Duke Hudson has been released from his contract. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reports that the NXT star was cut in January and that he was removed from the internal roster in mid-January, meaning his exit has been a secret for a while. Hudson had been part of NXT since 2019 and last competed at an NXT live event last November, and his exit from TV since then had left fans speculating about his status. Now Hudson is done in WWE, and his exit comes after several character changes, starting with his early days as Brendan Vink before becoming Duke Hudson, a cocky poker player. Hudson's biggest run came as part of Chase U, where he aligned with Andre Chase and Thea Hale to turn the group into one of NXT's most entertaining acts. Despite being consistent on TV, WWE has decided to cut ties with Hudson, though we're yet to be given an official reason why the company decided to cut him. With WWE not even announcing his exit, Hudson joins a growing list of stars to be quietly let go without a match or acknowledgement on TV, and we'll have to see what's next outside NXT. During a backstage segment on Raw, Adam Pearce dropped a major bombshell by revealing that AJ Styles is now part of the Red brand and will be on next week's show. Given how stacked SmackDown's roster is, moving Styles is wise and opens up fresh rivalries and opportunities for the Phenomenal One now that he's back from his months away with injury. If his Royal Rumble showcase proved anything, it's that Styles remains in the spotlight, leaving fans eager to see what's next. Will Styles seek payback on Logan Paul, the man who eliminated him from the Royal Rumble match, or will he target a title? Perhaps he'll carve out a whole new path. Share your thoughts below. Braun Breaker was in Adam Pearce's office to ask what's next for him, and ever since Raw moved to Netflix, it's been hard to ignore how little the IC champion has been used. This is the right attitude for Breaker to have on screen, and given that this came about right after the news of Styles' Raw move, could this have been a tease for a major title feud? Alexa Bliss made her stunning return to WWE TV as part of the Women's Royal Rumble match last weekend, and fans can expect to see much more of her in the ring. Fightful Select reports that Bliss has signed a new 5-year contract with WWE, and her deal was negotiated by Paragon talent agencies Steve Kay and Dean Muhtadi. Muhtadi formerly worked with WWE as Mojo Rawley, and the fact that Paragon scored Bliss her new contract bodes well for many other superstars. Several wrestlers have joined Paragon, including WWE names like Andrade, Jordynne Grace, Naomi, and Nia Jax, as well as outside talent like MVP, Samoa Joe, and Miro. Bliss and WWE had been an odds-over contract, but it's clear the former women's champion won out thanks to Paragon, as she had been seeking a new deal. Now the goddess has exactly that, with 5 more years with WWE to her name, and though she was missing from this week's Raw, expect to see her back on our screens in the near future. Now, if you thought Charlotte Flair would be welcomed back with open arms by fans, you'd be wrong, as the 2025 Women's Rumble winner was met with more boos than cheers on Raw. Flair fed into this response and started by expressing how much she missed the fans during her year away, a year that broke her both physically and mentally. Flair practically goaded fans to boo her when she said that, lover or hater, she loves all of the WWE universe, but she was interrupted by Rhea Ripley. Mommy arrived to a huge ovation, and the two superstars, who hold 1 win at WrestleMania each over the other, came face to face. Ripley reminded Charlotte that Raw is her show, and recalling their past feuds, said going to war with someone helps you earn respect, which she has for Flair. Ripley pleaded for Flair to choose her for WrestleMania, reminding Charlotte that Rhea won their last encounter, and Flair recalled defeating Ripley for the NXT Women's title in 2020. Charlotte will head to NXT and Smackdown this week to see if Julia or Tiffany Stratton inspire her, and said Ripley jumped the gun by coming out, proving that she's still just a kid. Ripley didn't like that one bit, as Charlotte didn't show respect to her and plans to beat the respect into her, possibly at WrestleMania 41. This was a fine segment, and pushing Flair to be a heel is the right call, as she thrives in the role, and even if she faces Tiffany Stratton, Flair will likely be booed in favor of Tiffy time. On Twitter, Flair continued to push her cocky heel attitude, telling fans, "Stay happy, sad, little, or big mad, I'm back," along with a video of her post-Royal Rumble match celebration. While Flair's professional life is back in full swing, Charlotte's personal life has taken a major change, as TMZ has learned that Flair filed for divorce from Andrade back in June 2024. Court records show that the judge made their split official in October, and with the couple keeping things quiet and neither commenting publicly, the reason for this divorce isn't clear. For now, Flair is focusing on her work, and WWE has wasted no time in giving her another huge opportunity with 3 potential women's champions for the Queen to face this April. This will be a busy week for Flair, and what did you make of this segment, and who do you want the Queen to choose as her WrestleMania opponent? Let us know below. Before her Women's Elimination Chamber qualifier, Io Sky teased beating Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, only to get jumped by Liv Morgan. When Ripley arrived to make the save, Raquel Rodriguez attacked her, adding another layer of drama to the Ripley-Morgan feud ahead of Liv's qualifying match. That match would see Liv earn her spot inside the Elimination Chamber in Toronto on March 1st as she defeated Sky, albeit in controversial fashion. Morgan was repeatedly cut off and taken down by Sky, who appeared close to earning the win, and not even Rodriguez's interference could derail the momentum of the Genius of the Sky. Still enraged at what happened earlier, Ripley hit the ring to fend off Raquel, but also struck Liv, giving her nemesis the DQ victory and costing Sky the match. The smug Morgan slinked her way up the ramp with Rodriguez, while a frustrated Sky berated the Women's World Champion and walked out on her. This finish creates tension between Ripley and Sky, which could lead to a WrestleMania showdown between the two, though only if Io finds another way into the title match with Ripley. As for Morgan, it keeps her in the title mix until her expected tag team rivalry with Bianca Belair and Naomi takes over, with a title match at WrestleMania very possible. This week's match was very good and highlighted the strengths of each woman involved, showing the strength of the Raw Women's division. In a backstage segment with American-made, Chad Gable again spoke about learning the dark arts of Lucha Libre and said he'll be taking a break from WWE to study. He wants Ivy Nile to win the Women's Intercontinental title and the Creeds to win the tag titles while he's gone. And is this a tease for the return of Malakai Black? It's been reported that Black's AEW contract is set to expire in mid-February or March, so Gable leaving for a few weeks does line up with this timeline. For any who may not know, Black's wrestling school is called the Dark Arts Gym, and between this and his AEW run ending, a return to WWE may be a matter of weeks away. Are you excited at the prospect of Black returning and aiding Gable with his luchador problem, or is this actually setting up something else? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Jey Uso arrived through the crowd to a thunderous response on Raw, and the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble winner earned "You Deserve It" chants and a standing ovation. This ovation came before he even said a word, and with tears in his eyes and his voice cracking, Jey thanked everyone who has been with him through the many stages of his career. Jey said he didn't have it made him to be a single star at first, but now he does, and he's heading to WrestleMania 41 with a guaranteed title opportunity. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther interrupted to tell Jey that he's disappointed, saying that their possible showdown this April doesn't appeal to him. Gunther berated Jey, saying he couldn't lace the boots of the Ring General, and that beating Uso will not add anything to his legacy. Uso shared that he'll be heading to Smackdown to speak with undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, and declared that whoever he faces at WrestleMania 41, he's leaving with the title. Jey Uso has the most buzz of any WWE superstar right now, and following up his momentous and surprising victory in the opening segment was certainly the right call. Jey's emotions were palpable, and this, alongside the reaction the fans gave him, only supports the idea that WWE picked the right guy to win the Rumble and challenge for a world title at WrestleMania 41. Since August, Kevin Owens has come up short in his pursuit of Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship 3 times, with the most recent coming at the Royal Rumble. Not only did he lose, but he lost in a ladder match, a staple match type over Owens' career, and this defeat likely knocked him out of the world title picture for the foreseeable future. Despite this loss, Owens can hold his head high, as PW Insider Elite reports that he received praise from all comers following last Saturday's ladder match. Owens was praised for his work against Rhodes, which saw KO take plenty of death-defying bumps, as well as a brutal, bloody gash in his head. Owens was also praised for how the match came together, with producers and Cody crediting him for the success of the match. Rhodes is no slouch in ladder matches, with his final match for AEW seeing him battle Sammy Guevara in the match type to crown the undisputed TNT champion. Owens' history with the stipulation dates back to his ROH days and battles with Sami Zayn, the Briscoes, Eddie Edwards, and Davey Richards, and this has continued during his WWE run. Owens has competed in Money in the Bank, and this latest ladder match proved how willing the Canadian is to put his body on the line in the name of entertaining fans. More from Raw as the New Day's rivalry with the LWO reignited when the heels took on Rey Mysterio and current WWE Speed Champion Dragon Lee. The New Day debuted darker theme music, which Pat McAfee called quite the bopper, and Logan Paul was around and received an overwhelming hostile response from the crowd. Paul will face Rey Mysterio in next week's Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and avoiding being distracted proved easier said than done for the Hall of Famer. Despite a late match comeback that saw Mysterio and Lee rolling, Rey struck out against Paul when he made his presence felt, and the Maverick laid into Mysterio. That set up Ray for Woods and Kingston to get the win in a match that was solid, hardly a surprise given the talent involved, but it took a backseat to Paul's ringside shenanigans. What started as a WWE run that exceeded expectations has devolved into go-away heat for Paul, and it'll take a miracle for he and WWE to reverse that sentiment. On the heels of a humbling Royal Rumble appearance in which he lasted just 6 seconds before being eliminated, Ludwig Kaiser sought revenge on the man who threw him out, Penta. In Raw's opening match, Gunther's right-hand man dominated the action with aggression and fury to wear down the luchador, but Penta was able to mount a comeback. Penta used his high-flying arsenal before catching Kaiser with a sacrifice armbreaker, and the Penta driver scored the Masked Star another hard-fought victory. Pete Dunne interrupted Jackie Redmond's attempt to interview Penta, and Kaiser delivered a beatdown to close the segment. This was yet another solid in-ring outing from Penta, though things did get somewhat clunky nearer to the finish, but a feud with Dunne and Kaiser is intriguing. Penta may have to consult some backup to battle the Europeans, and this is a solid way to use them a few weeks before his WrestleMania plans become somewhat clearer. The road to Elimination Chamber will continue next week as Bayley and Lyra Valkyria will meet for a spot in the Women's Chamber match in Toronto. More Elimination Chamber news as Finn Balor will have a qualifying match thanks to the efforts of Dominik Mysterio, though Balor wasn't pleased with Dirty Dom. Balor was annoyed that Dom took his spot in last week's tag title match by teaming with JD McDonough, but Liv Morgan played peacekeeper. She shared that Adam Pearce was set to give the Elimination Chamber qualifier to someone other than Finn until Mysterio stepped in, but there were still tensions in the group. All while this was going on, Carlito was in the background watching the drama unfold while eating an apple in a funny spot for the cool superstar amid all this frustration. At just 56 seconds, iShow's Speed's time in the Men's Royal Rumble match was the second shortest of the night, only beating Ludwig Kaiser, but the streamer made an impact. The spear that Speed took for Braun Breaker garnered around 300 million views in the first 24 hours, and with that insane number, WWE is unsurprisingly eager to work with Speed again. PW Insider reports that WWE adored Speed and would love to involve him in future plans, with a role at WrestleMania 41 being a possibility. After the Rumble match, Speed shared that he's working toward being a part of the 2026 men's match and called out everyone from Roman Reigns to Rey and Dom Mysterio and even to Mark Henry. WWE has never shied away from celeb involvement, and Speed has a massive following on YouTube and Twitch, meaning his return isn't a question of if, but when to WWE. And we're ending today with the 2025 Royal Rumble, which delivered its fair share of unforgettable moments, but one of the night's most dominant performances was originally set to be even more devastating. According to Fightful Select, Nia Jax was supposed to eliminate even more competitors in the Women's Royal Rumble match. While she already set a new record by tossing out 7 superstars, sources reveal that WWE initially planned for her elimination count to be even higher. However, due to timing adjustments made just 2 hours before the event, her total was scaled back. Despite the last-minute changes, Jax still made a powerful impact, solidifying her place as one of the match's most imposing forces.